What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Matty Pace coming at you live from the Matty Mo Show, the host, the most mojo. And today, I've got a very special video for you premiering two Houston legends, baby. But before we get into that, I'd like to give a special salute and shout out to my man Nuff Said, for without you, none of this would be possible, baby. And I'd also love to give a shout out to my man Ammo on the ones and twos, who never leaves a frown when he's mixing it down, baby. So without any further ado, allow me to introduce you to the creators, the innovators behind the Dopeheads NFTs, Mr. Toe Down and Mighty Mike Frost, baby. Let's go! I'm saying.
Yeah.
Baby, we are ready to get live and direct in full effect, ready to get your ears erect, because as I mentioned in the intro, baby, we got two Houston legends in the chat right now. We have my man Toe Down and my man Mighty Mike Frost, baby. How we doing, gentlemen?
Man,
Good.
living and praying, man. Blessed to be here.
Thank you for coming on to the show. I really appreciate it, man. This one is the first interview of 2022, and I think we setting it off right with two legends in here. So thank you so much.
No problem, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah,
Hey,
glad to be here too.
I also want to give a special shout out before we dive into the interview portion. I want to give a shout out to Chingo. And I also want to give a shout out to Donnie Houston, who had a great interview with you, Toe Down, that I watched. And so if you're looking to get a little bit more familiar with Toe Down on a musical standpoint, you should definitely go watch Donnie Houston TV and check out their interview, I think released about 10 months ago. It was really cool. And I want to touch on something in there real quick because
Go for it.
I heard a funny line in there that, my man, basically, you've been a hustler pretty much your whole life and grinding in a forward direction. We'll say that. And I thought one of the funniest things I heard was that you paid a private school principal for your diploma based off Gangsta Granny and what she told you.
Yeah, well, first of all, Gangsta Granny, big shout out to her. She's the OG bitch in charge, you know what I'm saying? She be running shit, But listen, I was, everybody goes through this. You're 17 years old, you don't really know what you want to do. Your 18th birthday is fastly approaching. And so my mom pinned a note to my door when I turned 18 years old, and it said, "Honey, you can either get a job, you can go to college, or you can go to the military, but you can't sit in my house and smoke cigarettes all day." And so she basically told me, get the fuck out, or go do something. And so with that being said, I didn't have my diploma. I stopped going to high school because I was making more money hustling. And I was like, fuck this. I'm making more than my teachers. Why am I going to school? At the time, I was working at a beeper store. They called it wireless communications. I was a wireless communication technician. And I was making, 50 or 60 grand, making more than my teacher. So I was like, why fucking go to school? And so, education is really important for a lot of people. And it just looked bad that, all the other Terrio boys, they had, graduated summa cum laude from college and was on the dean's list. And I didn't even have a high school diploma. And so I started looking into private schools. And the private school I came across was Parkview Baptist School. A gentleman by the name of Mr. Chesson.
Shout out to Chesson.
I don't even know if he's still living or not. But long story short, I went in there and I just let him know. I was like, hey, listen, I'm supposed to graduate this year. I'm technically 2 years behind. I don't want to have to report to you and come to school and check in and all this shit. Let me just throw you some cash for a diploma. I already know what I want to do in life. I'm not joining the military. I got a good job. I just need a little piece of paper, man. Woo. And so we worked it out. And so, I think I want to say it was either 3,500 or 1,500. I think it was like 3,500. But I couldn't remember if it was 15 or 3,500. It was one of those. At the time, for a young person, it might have seemed like a lot of money. But for me, it was a move I had to make so I could get that whole family shit off my back. Like, here's a fucking diploma. Do it all. Do whatever the fuck you want with it.
I feel you.
The most important thing about college, and I will say this to everybody who's listening, It's not necessarily what you learn in college, but college is a networking incubator. Those people you're going to school with are going to be pioneers and leaders of your industry in the future. So if you try to get an education, that's great, but what you should be doing is networking,
Mm,
finding out, who's the smartest in this class, who's the smartest in this class, and then go gravitate towards those people because you want to associate with people that are smarter than you. Because if
mm.
you're hanging out with a bunch of dumbasses, guess what? You're just going to be a dumbass right along with them. But if
Yep.
all of my friends are millionaires or hustlers or ambitious type people, then I'm going to be a part of that group. I'm going to be ambitious because I can network. And so when people go to like Ivy League colleges, they're not going because that school is a better place to get an education. They're going
Yep.
because that environment nurtures that whole networking thing. And
Building it up.
especially with sororities and all these other things. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're in college, your biggest takeaway shouldn't be that fucking master's degree you're trying to get or your bachelor's or whatever. You
Yeah.
should be networking your ass off. And when your parents ask you how's college going, you should say, I've been to 10 fucking parties. I've hung out with the best people I possibly could find. I got all their contacts. They know I'm good for it,
He good.
so yeah, so I learned early on that your net worth is basically what your network is.
Yeah,
And
like
if
they
you
always
have
say.
that's just a hustler's motto, right?
Yep.
And so when I approached the whole school thing, I evaluated as well. People normally go to school so they can get a job later on in life, and they can, have a career and go buy a house and have 2.5 kids and blah 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 blah. So for me, I was already in a career that I wanted to be in at that particular point, that I was making a good living. And I was like, what's the point of me even going to school when I'm already doing what you're supposed to be doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but listen, I remember back in the fourth grade that I went school clothes shopping in my brother's closet.
Mm.
And that motivated me right there,
That's real.
going into school. Like, okay, if I want something, mom and dad aren't going to be able to give it to me like all my other friends. I'm going to have to go out and hustle it. So, my first job was a mail order thing where I'd go door to door and sell cards, like birthday cards or greeting cards or anniversary cards. And for every card I sold, I made $1,
Oof.
right? So at the time, they didn't have a bundle where you could buy 15 or 20 cards at a time. So my idea was I'm going to approach these people and say, hey, listen, if you buy these cards 25 at a time, I'll give you a discount. So I hiked up the price and I made $2 a card instead of $1 a card
Mm-hmm.
and put them in a bundle where they could get more of them.
Let's
And
go.
I think that summer I made like $300. And I was
Oof.
like, okay, I'm good now. I can go school clothes shopping and I can actually get some nice shoes. So,
Fatty fat
I mean,
stacks in the building.
that taught me early on that if I wanted something, I'd have to go get it. And
Mm-hmm.
I think Mike comes from a similar type background, and that's why we work so well together. Is because Mike comes from that. Hey, put the fucking foot on the gas and let's go. Don't look
Yeah.
back. Stay focused. And Mike and I, we make a really good marriage. He
Yeah.
does he does everything what extremely well that I fucking suck at. He is the most organized. He is the most he is the most
Yep.
organized. He's the most creative person that I've ever had the opportunity of working with, and we're just a good fit.
Yeah, it's
He's
a
kind of
match
like
made in heaven.
it is. He's kind of like my brother from another mother, to say that cliche line, but it's true.
Yep.
He could fit in exactly right with my other brother, so it's good
Yeah.
shit.
Speaking of, shout out to Bernard. You know what I'm saying? We out here. And that being said, beautiful points. And it's always like they say, it's not what you know, but who you know that ends up mattering a little bit more in the long run. And as you mentioned, I mean, and as I said, I got two legends from Houston right here. And, a little bit more of a glimpse into both of you because what I think people up here, I mean, coming from my age bracket and we were rocking out to that Slim Thug, that Still Tippin', that Chamillionaire, that Paul Wall, Swisher House, UGK. We were rocking to all that, but I had never known about the depth of all that stuff. And then when I began to explore more about both of you gentlemen, I really realized, like, damn, like people got to know. And you from a performing standpoint, transitioning over to producer standpoint, and being able to do the best of both worlds under DJ Screw, and I know about with Pimp C and stuff, which is unreal. And then here's Mike Frost over here, quiet in the corner, but the Basquiat Pacquiao of the game, pretty much. The visionary of being able to put that extra little flair and that cherry on top of a beautiful ice cream cake. And I think that's something that a lot of people overlook but would notice if it wasn't there. So why don't we touch a little bit in there? Because I know, Mike, your background similar to Toe. But I heard something recently by you that you used to get a lot of your creativity from comic books growing up as a kid. Is that right?
I still got
As
them
you
all.
can see
Yeah.
on the wall.
Oh, I can, man. I literally, I'm surrounded by like thousands of them. The rest of them
hmm
are in the. I got specifically built desks to like hold them.
Did anyone stand out? Like any, I know a lot of comic book collectors have like, that specific series that kind of outshines a little bit more in their eyes. Which was it for you?
You know, I was mostly into the comic book artists like a lot. Like I was more of a cover collector.
Okay.
So I mean, like, and I worked at a comic book store when Todd McFarlane came out with like his first Spider-Mans, and we saw him in
Yeah.
like do that Batman cover, and it was something different. So back then, I was just, I was sitting there trying to imitate Todd McFarlane and draw, which I never came close. The so like a lot of the stuff on my wall, a lot of the stuff that I have is like, just covers that I love from that particular time in my life. And then me and all my homeboys would hang out at the comic store. The owner let us have the keys. So we'd hang out there all night, play Street Fighter 2, like drawing
Whew.
pictures. So
Hadouken.
from that, from looking from looking at, I remember, yeah, I tell the story sometimes. We used to get beer and put it in the Coke machine to keep it
Let's
cold.
go.
And like one time, like we're there in the morning, and like this kid puts 50 cents in the Coke machine, and I mean he's like 6, and a Budweiser pops out. We're like,
Yeah.
oh,
My
the
man's definitely swerving on the way to the Street Fighter machine, that's for sure.
but I think, I think as far as the way comic book artists, like, they pose things, and they put their characters on the covers and stuff. Yeah, that definitely had a big influence on my eye. When I'm designing a cover of someone, I want to have that same feeling when I look at that as when I look at like a comic book cover that I really love. So
Beautiful.
it's kind of like the feeling you get when you see it. And then even with the artists that I was designing for, like I looked at design in Houston as a whole. Like I wanted all these almost like I'm not calling them comic book characters, but in a way, I wanted these uniquely defined characters based off like personality traits I picked up off of them. And then I was also looking out into the world and like realizing other people match their traits as well. So
Yeah.
it was communicating that, hey, this person's like you, and not trying to make everybody like Slim, but make all the people who are already kind of like Slim identify with Slim. So yeah, it had a big influence, and like, the stories behind Spider-Man's my favorite one, Silver Surfer's my favorite one, but I like the way Marvel like wrote in kind of like heroes that had like stupid problems like everybody else, or like
Yeah.
that weren't perfect. So that's another thing in like cover design and the album covers is I wasn't, I wanted that human side too. And a lot of times when you're doing artwork, like they try to present like this perfect masterpiece of this person. And with Houston, it was like a hustle city. So I wanted it clean and like attractive, but raw at the same time.
Yeah, you definitely capture a lot of that with your work. And I know that you said in a previous interview that you were kind of always like some people trying to catch up, you know what I'm saying? But you always taking a direction and seeing that and then going a completely different way. And now, so it's like you just continue to set the bar, much like Toe. I mean, coming out with country rap tune and, just all the music. And it's just, the combination is just so crazy to me about your connection in general and what you guys are both able to do in the same kind of bracket in different ways. Both bringing art to life in two different ways that complement each other is something that I don't think the average person who's not like a music head really takes time to appreciate. So it's really cool to be able to have the best of both worlds here with me.
Yeah,
Super
I
crazy
gotta
is
say, go ahead, Toda.
what's super crazy is that Mike and I have worked on a lot of platinum and gold productions at the same time, but never really communicated. Like we were in the same building, but opposite places. And for 20 years, we never worked together in the same room. It was the
Wild.
craziest shit ever. And listen, I always had envy of Mike's projects because you could go to the CD store. I know those are things that people don't know about today, but there used to be a
Yeah.
place where you could buy CDs at. And so you would go into the
Yeah.
CD store and you would look on the shelves and you knew a Mike Frost album cover from everybody else's. It just had a certain feel and look to it that made it so different. You just gravitated towards it. And
Yeah.
so Mike is able to do things subtly where you're like, is that? And then you end up staring at it for hours and you don't even understand why, you know? Like, why in the
Yeah.
fuck was I just looking at that for like hours and shit? And so Mike is able to captivate you in a way and draw you in through his design that, I don't know how the fuck he does it. And he does it with everything. It's almost like that clear coat on your Rolls Royce. You don't really see the clear coat, but it adds that shine and perfection to it.
Yeah.
And Mike is just that way. And so when we started the Dopeheads project, I knew that when people saw it, they would gravitate towards it. That's exactly what's been happening.
I mean, I'll tell you what, as being someone who is a viewer of Dopeheads, and one more time, I want to give a special shout out to my man Nuff Said. He's an amazing guy. From his own rap music, I'm sure my man is he's an MC, but not only that, he's also a very creative person and very open, which I've always loved. He lets the art kind of flow through him, but also when he's working with individuals such as yourself, when we were in Dope Music together making music up here, um, there was like no boundaries. You know what I'm saying? There are no mistakes in creating what you believe to be, the direction you want to go to, which I believe is a beautiful thing because it can be very conflicting when someone wants to have power. But I can definitely tell by just discussing this with you guys that that's not even in the conversation, which is why I love so far taking a look at Dopeheads NFT and just like, damn, this just feels different. Not only does it look different, but it feels different. And I think when you feel something just as much or more, I mean, whew, you got a recipe right there for success.
Like one thing, kind of I've noticed about this, and Toe Down hit on a point. Like me and him have the partnership, the relationship has been so great because we have like opposing skills. Like when I'm over analyzing, like he's pushing. Like when so it's this project is I haven't experienced this since Dash and Michael Watts came from Swisher House. It really reminds me a lot of that energy that was there at the time, and it was just all
Mm-hmm.
gas, no brakes. I would be analyzing stuff. G Dash would come in and like, yo, Frost, let's we got to get this and this and this, and it's the cadence that you start to develop for getting stuff done, and then there's no friction because it's like you're working as a team, and you're happy the other person is focused too, and like it just it's like every day, man. It just keeps stuff driving. But the Dopeheads has been an amazing project so far because it's flown so fucking naturally. And when me and
Mm-hmm.
Toedown will look at each other like, dude, why is this so easy? And it's like, so all of our energy is just put into improving the project. Like I've just learned that Enough Said was creative and rap right there. I didn't know that when
Oh
you said
yeah.
it. And that's the point I was getting to, is like now we have all these fans and members and people in the Discord, which I'm new to Discord too. It feels like when I first got into the rap game, because I didn't know much about Houston rap when I designed my first cover. It was this whole fucking world to explore.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the most amazing thing to me, because it was like, for a creative person, it's like you have, like Star Wars, you just jumped into a new galaxy. And that's what I feel like right now. Or like I just discovered like this, like, say if you've never heard of Star Wars and you just discovered it for the first time, it feels like that. So it's like,
Like welcome.
so yeah, like the all gas, no brakes, hustle stuff. I'm just having fucking fun. Like I get up and I fucking like, let's go. Like I wake up, I take a nap at midnight, wake up an hour later, let's go.
You
Like
excited?
Mike said, this has been, a truly organic experience for us. And back in the early 2000s, we were able, as independent music companies, to load up our trunks with CDs, and we could go out and we could cruise the state and come back with almost $500,000 because
Whew.
you could sell, 50, 75, 100,000 independently, getting $6, $7 a record wholesale, $10 at the gas station.
Yep.
And so this is what that feels like all over again. The environment that the dope heads have been able to provide in a community wide and in like a community sense, everybody is so willing and eager to help each other. It's a really unique place where like-minded people can meet up.
Yep.
And it's not like we're out here promoting drugs or anything like that. We're just saying, hey, listen, we fucked up. We're some dope heads. If you fucked up in life before, come join the Discord. It's the
Yeah.
dopest place on earth. And come hang out with us. And I tell Mike, all the time, like, listen, our social numbers are so close. I've never seen where like your Instagram is almost the same number as your Discord or your Twitter.
Rare.
Usually it's like the Discord and then your Instagram will be half of that or your Twitter will be half of that.
Yeah.
Our numbers are really, really close, which means that people follow us not just on Discord, but equally on our other socials. And so every community member is not like a fan in our book, but more like a family member.
I like
The
that. Yeah.
the people that are in there are willing to do things for the greater community that I would never have thought that you could do with like a street team when you have a record company.
Mm-hmm.
A good street team will go out and they'll pass out your flyers, they'll wear your shirt, they'll make sure
Yep.
everybody around them knows what's going on. A bad street team will take your flyers and throw them in the trash can and come back and show you a couple pictures of where they left them at.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
A good street team is impactful because you see the sales come in, you see everything else, and that's what it's kind of like in the dopehead community. You see the impact that each community member makes because of the way it's growing.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't put $1 into major advertising at all for the dopeheads. We just signed a strategic partnership with Moon Harvest, which is one of the biggest CBD companies that's out there.
Let's
And so
go.
we're able to now enter that realm of major marketing and promotion so that not only can we be here, but we can be everywhere and let
Mm-hmm.
everybody know about the dope heads. The dope heads are coming. The dope heads are coming. You know, so,
Yep.
Paul
we
Revere.
exactly. So,
You
I think once you join the community and you see what the vibe is, you stick around and stay. Like we do movie nights. Our movie nights are packed. Everybody shows up for movie night. We do fight nights and show pay-per-views. So if you're
Yep.
want to come and hang out the Discord and watch a pay-per-view, you can come over there and check us out. You know, I'm not saying anything, you know, but if you're
Yeah,
ever in the
no.
Discord and you know there's some special fight or pay-per-view, you can come and
Yeah,
check it
something
out
Pay-per-view.
like
with us.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
know, hold up the
We
papers in
gotta
the view,
view some
baby.
paper.
All right, so speaking of dope heads, I mean, we've been dropping the name. I mentioned it in the intro. They see it down below in the subscription in the description. But I think it's time to properly introduce what Dope Heads NFT really is. And I think for a lot of people, including myself, I don't want to say I'm ignorant to it, but I'm very unaware of what NFTs even are. I believe they feel pretty new. I know they stand for non-fungible token, but I couldn't tell you the difference between that and a token I put in to play Street Fighter 2. You know what I'm saying? So why don't we first
I'll break
introduce?
I'll break it down super simple for you.
Yeah.
And think of an NFT as a digital trading card. All right. Why do different Pokemons have value? Because one Pokemon card is rarer than the other. The
Hmm.
same thing applies for non fungible tokens. They're all Pokemon cards, but this one is worth more because there's not that many of them available. And so
Okay.
the same thing can apply for your NFTs. But NFTs can also be um, fashion, they can be artistry, they can be entrance to an exclusive club. So there's multi-facets of what an NFT can be. And so for us, we decided to attach a social cause to it to help free nonviolent drug offenders because I know how it was being locked up. That shit was whack.
Hmm.
I was in a fucking old ass antiquated law library where the fucking books looked like encyclopedias. You couldn't use Google, you couldn't use the internet. And so here I am fighting a case against the federal government, and they have all those tools, and I have nothing. So I'm literally walking into a gunfight with a knife. Like, I don't even have a knife, I got like a paper clip. And so I was like, the next major thing that I do, I will make sure I attach a social cause like helping free nonviolent drug offenders. And so for us, starting up this NFT, we're able to attach a social cause to our NFT because everybody that holds a dope head NFT is is an executive producer in our animated series. So not only are you collecting royalties from syndication deals, but you're now part of this exclusive club that helps free nonviolent drug offenders through our nonprofit partnerships nationwide. So we're able to do the funding for these guys where before they had no funds to work with. So now, if you know somebody that gets in a situation, you can come into the Discord. After launch, we'll have a 24/7, 365 channel for emergency help. So if you know somebody that gets incarcerated and you have no idea what to do, we'll show you how to find a bail bondsman. We'll show you how to find a lawyer. We'll show you what a discovery is. That's where the government does all the work and tells you exactly what their case is against you. We'll walk you through that entire process for you
Whew,
post launch.
whew.
So holders will have an exclusive membership into this club where if you need help, we'll be able to help you through our Discord and our community to provide you with that information. So, in a
Or bring.
whole,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. No, no. Go ahead. Finish what you're
so
saying.
in a whole, not only are we doing an animated series and a toy collection that are
Yep.
collectibles, we're also helping free nonviolent drug offenders through our partnerships. And when
Hmm.
I say partnerships, I'm not talking like, the Season Be Cure Foundation where they only give like 5% to their charity type shit.
Yeah, good old March
We're
of
talking
Dimes.
we're talking about a full partnership. So
Yeah.
as much money as I make, the nonprofit makes. So
Okay.
there's no discrepancy in that at all. So most NFT projects will I'll donate $20,000 to over here. No, fuck that. They're a full partner. 20 years from now, if we're $1 billion conglomerate, they'll have their same partnership.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
when we grow, we're able to help more. We're able to impact our community more. We're able to educate more. So an NFT can be multifaceted things from artwork to a profile picture to an animated series. So that's basically what NFTs for us are. And I think Mike can fill you in on anything I might have missed out.
Right.
Yeah, there's a couple other things too. Is like what the NFT represents. It's just all through my art career growing up and stuff. Like I remember being young and you're always waiting for like opportunity. Like I always wanted the major label to holler at me or something, or like I was always trying to work my way up. So one thing the NFT represents to me is the fan base that we have is basically investing in us so we get to build our dream. So this is kind of unwritten, but as I'm meeting people, like I've learned enough said's creative. There's like Mere Money, there's Epic
Oh
Dad,
yeah.
there's Lolo who's been good, like Chocolate Tea, like people are starting to rise up, and I'm like, I also want to offer opportunity as we grow back to people in our Discord, and it's kind of a two-way fold. If you own an NFT, that means you backed us, and if you're also active in the Discord and you're actively working, like as we grow as a company, that's the first place we're going to look when we got to put people on payroll, because there's going to be, when you're distributing toys and you're managing ad campaigns and you're dealing with networks and you're managing animation creation, like all those are, it can't be me and Tony can't do all the work. We're going to
Yeah,
need
I feel
help,
you.
and we're going to have to put people on payroll, and that's going to be the first place we look. So so it's also like, and this is I think as much as the prison reform is important to the nonviolent thing is important to Doe Down, just offering young people opportunity.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people actually, like, I've talked to some, I'm not going to bring up their names for privacy, but they have criminal records.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them have felonies. So
Can't get a job like that unless you barely busting tables will get you that.
it's hand in hand with like what Toe Down is saying. Not only help them with their cases, but also being able to provide opportunity. Um, so those things are important. And the NFT also represents, like, the image is cool. I don't even look at that as belonging to the community and having this. I think of it as an ID card. You
Okay.
belong to this community, and the benefits we're going to pass down is going to go to the holders of that ID card. And that's, it's like I've got my ExxonMobil badge for work, right? With that badge, I get through the door. They give me opportunity. They give me work. It's a privilege. It's a great company to do work for. And I look at our NFT as the same thing as that badge.
Okay.
It's a way through the door. It's a way to do work. When we do the toys, they're going to be the first people to be able to buy the limited edition toys before they go out to
Yep.
public sale. We have the distributed partnership with the CBD company Moon Harvest. So we're going to be using that distributorship to get things out to the market, but our Dopeheads NFT holders, they're going to get the good shit and they're going to get it first. So if there ever is a rise in collectability, every opportunity we can provide the NFT holder, whether it's through collectibles to make money, whether it's through opportunities, whether it's through the prison reform, every single benefit we can provide is going to our NFT holders and Discord members. Period.
Also just to mention this, NFTs, which we will provide for our toy line, they'll come with a 3D NFT for authentication and verification. So not only can the NFT be a membership into this club, but it can also authenticate and verify as well. So now your authentication lives on the blockchain. It's permanently there. It can't be copied, corrupted, or jacked with in any way. So just to rehash on what Mike was saying about opportunity, 71% of people who are released from prison go back to prison. And the
Crazy.
number one reason is lack of opportunity. Because I can't go get that 9 to 5 job because they don't hire felons. And I have to put it on the job application because if I don't, they're going to end up finding out and fucking me in the long run.
Yep.
So providing opportunity for people is a big thing for us. And I don't look at smoking pot as a negative. I think that's a
No,
positive for somebody who's super creative.
for
I
sure.
think I think LSD is the same way. I think ecstasy is the same way. There are now studies that are going out about ecstasy for PTSD.
Even
They
mushrooms.
they've been doing. I mean, I remember reading while I was locked up, like when I first got locked up 8 years ago, that they were doing this. I read it in the Playboy magazine that they were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did I get some good nudies, but I read it in the Playboy
Man,
magazine. You
that
know, so
explains why I'm a chill ass motherfucker.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
so
I've been heavily medicated in the right direction.
Yeah, 100%. It clearly shows.
those are things that, like Mike said, I don't think we should hire anybody unless they do have a felony. So it's like one of those
Yeah.
things. Like, we know how you feel. We're the same way, and our community reflects that. So again, it's like-minded people in a great community. This NFT thing is something so cool and so innovative, and it's one of those things that I tell people: if you had an opportunity to invest in the Mickey Mouse when they were making Steamboat Willie, their very first animation, and they made that an NFT, how much would that NFT be worth today, 50, 60 years later? Half a
Trillions.
million, $1 million, 2 million.
Big
So
money.
here's that same opportunity. You guys come in, you buy the drop, it helps support our startup. We have three main divisions. We have animation, toys and collectibles, and NFTs. So you're helping provide a startup with the capital it needs to be successful. And
Also,
so the
you forgot
community
licensing.
and licensing. And so the community is there to support that cause. And not only that, but they influence the cause as well. So if they have a story idea, there's a suggestion box. You go drop your idea. We start in the writer's room and start formulating ideas. And that's another thing that our holders will get post launch. In our Discord, there will be rooms and chats that they're only accessible for our holders. So, if you're not on the pre-sale list, there's still about 400 spots left. You're able to get on, you have enough time, go get on the pre-sale list. That way you're guaranteed to mint. And if you don't know what a mint is or an NFT is, stop by the Discord. We'll help educate you on all that stuff. We'll help you stay out of the lane of all the scammers and deviants and all that stupid stuff. And just come chill with us for a minute. Check out the Discord.
Yeah, which by the way, for everybody out there tuning in, if you haven't already looked in the description, you can find the links to everything Dopeheads NFT, from the Instagram to the Twitter to the Discord as well. So just click the link and it's going to bring you exactly where you need to go and what you want to see. So, I mean, Dopeheads NFT, to me, it sounds very prosperous, but not only that, it sounds like a place where people can freely be themselves, feel free to create because there's no wrong ideas. And not only that, you give them what they deserve, which what a lot of people going to their 9 to 5s don't get now and will never get, which is why they have 401ks to make up for the amount of money that they're not getting up front that they deserve, which I love. And another thing that is pretty cool to me is that you do have a couple of, high profile cats in there, like, as you mentioned, but you also have like, Devin the dudes up in there, right? You have Archie the kid. I mean, you guys are really doing it, and it's something beautiful to see. But as well as what you both described to me about NFTs, I'm still a little unfamiliar with the program in a sense. Not so much dope heads, but as getting into that sort of game. You mentioned like blockchain. I've heard people mention Ethereum, I think it's called now.
Ethereum.
Ethereum. Sorry. So do you have to have a yeah? Do you
So
have to
let me
have a
break it
certain
down.
wallet?
Let me break it down. Let me break it all the way down for you to the very last compound, all the way to the ground.
Okay.
So NFTs are going to be kind of like your gateway drug to cryptocurrency. And so, in order for you to purchase this NFT, you have to purchase it with cryptocurrency. So, what we do is we provide education saying, hey, listen, if you want one of these NFTs, you have to go buy a certain cryptocurrency called Ethereum, because our dope heads live on the Ethereum blockchain. So, we guide you to Coinbase or we guide you to Qcoin. We educate you on how to set it up and how to purchase. You purchase your Qcoin and then you send it to your MetaMask wallet. All this we educate you on in the Discord. And so your MetaMask wallet is your online wallet so you can view stuff on OpenSea, which is the largest platform for NFTs, kind of like an eBay for NFTs. So we'll walk you through the entire steps of, hey, listen, if you like this NFT, follow us. We'll show you how to get on Coinbase. We'll show you how to buy Ethereum. We'll show you how to transfer it to your MetaMask wallet so you can be all set up for the day of the launch. So when you get ready to purchase, you'll be good to go. But you do need a MetaMask wallet. And a MetaMask wallet is just a simple wallet that provides a storage place for your NFTs and your cryptocurrency. And Coinbase is an exchange that everybody can get on right now to go buy cryptocurrency. And you can buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of the other cryptocurrencies. What makes Ethereum different from Bitcoin is Bitcoin, think of it as digital gold, like a store of value, okay?
Yep.
Where Ethereum is more like a computer program where you can program stuff on top of it. So if you wanted to build an application, like let's say you wanted to decentralize Twitter, well, you could build that application on top of the Ethereum blockchain. And when you do that, they charge you a gas fee for every time you program something on it. So that's how that blockchain kind of works. Mike can expound on it and tell you all the details about it. But everything you need to know is in the Discord. Come hang out. We'll educate you about everything from where the cryptocurrency is at, how to obtain it, how to get it, what brings value. You know, holding on to these NFTs is a long-term play. You know, we want to create so much value that you can give these to your grandkids. And your grandkids, they actually want it. I mean, kids today, you know, they don't want granny's vase that's worth $400. They would rather have $400 in Bitcoin, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, think of it as NFTs are your gateway drug to cryptocurrency. And if you don't know about cryptocurrency, you're still early. There's no reason to rush. Don't FOMO in. But, you know, cryptocurrency is truly revolutionary to the point where it will change the world. And I'll let Mike expound on all that.
Oh, I got to go into the crypto NFT.
Only as deep as you want to go, my friend. Only as deep as you want to go.
I mean, yeah, just to keep it like simple, really. You can get Coinbase Pro, KuCoin, or any of that stuff. Just sign up for an account. You put it on your credit card or whatever, your bank account. You know, you can buy whatever crypto you want. So what happens with most of your cryptocurrency or all of your cryptocurrencies is your Coinbase has an address. That account has an address. That's your wallet address. It's that weird looking number you see. It's called a hash. Your MetaMask, which you can download to your browser, also has a wallet address as that hash. And you know, it's just like you think of a hash as like a weird looking URL. So you can send money from one URL to the other URL. And that's all you're basically doing, like sending money from one website to another website through the little hash.
As simple as like a Venmo or like a PayPal, Cash App sort of thing.
Think about, instead of having your screen name in Venmo, if you had to type in that long hash number.
Okay. So pretty much the same thing. Just
the same.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So that brings me to my next question. Now, obviously, NFTs have created a definite rumble in the crowd. I mean, I see it on Twitter. I've seen it on Instagram. DJ Khaled's back in NFTs. The thing that caught my eye on an NFT, which even made me look up what it was at first, was because I saw a picture of a crazy psychedelic type bunny that sold for like $250K. And I was over here like, what? You know what I'm saying? So as you mentioned, the NFT becomes more priceless, obviously, with lesser made, but you hold on to it for a long term. Is there a way to make big money like that off, like, let's say, the NFT that may be like the Dopehead that you got on your site or in the Discord or something? Is there a way for something like that to blossom short term for people if that's what they're kind of trying to do? Not necessarily the right way, but
so check it out. So NFTs provide a great opportunity for investing, and there's two types of NFT holders. They're the flippers who make money, and then there's the people that just hold for the collectible sake. If you're an NFT flipper, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get on as many pre-sales as you possibly can, mint as many as you possibly can, whatever popular project is out there. You can tell the popular ones just by going to rarity.tools, and they'll have an upcoming list of all the NFTs, or you can go to NFT calendar and check out all the upcoming NFTs. And what you want to do is you want to find NFT projects that are hot. What does their Discord look like? Do they have members in their community? Do they have members on their Twitter? Do they have members on their Instagram? Are their members active? And so as a flipper, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get in on all the pre-sales that you can, so you can mint the maximum amount that you possibly can. Then that way, when it sells out and there's a large number of people that want a smaller number of items, simply it's supply and demand that goes into effect. The smaller the supply and the larger demand creates value, and it makes it go up higher. So if I have 10,000 Dopehead NFTs and there's 100.
Oh, I think we lost. Oh, we back. We back.
So if there are 10,000 Dopehead NFTs and
Yep.
there are 100,000 people that want 10,000 Dopehead NFTs, they automatically have value right there. So as a flipper, if I'm able to buy 5 of them and the thing sells out in 6 minutes, 22 minutes, or whatever, and it sells out, now I'm able to sell those for 5, 10 times the amount of what I paid. So we believe after a successful sellout, you'll be able to sell a Dopehead NFT for somewhere around 1.5 Ethereum.
Ooh.
So you'll be able to make that spread right there. So as a flipper, if you're making 10 times, if you're able to make 10 times your, sorry, I keep getting a phone
You good?
call.
You good?
If you're able to make 10 times your initial investment, there's no other investment opportunity that allows you to do that. And that's just one side of investing into NFTs. The other side of investing in NFTs is what they call blue chipping. And what you want to do is you want to find blue chip projects like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, okay? And you can invest in these projects. And obviously, the more people find out about them, the more exposure they will get, the more expensive your blue chip will be.
Okay.
So there's even some NFTs out there like the Cyber Kong, where if you just buy a Cyber Kong, they'll pay you 10 banana tokens a day. Well, right now that's paying out about $4,000 or $5,000 a month just for holding on to this Cyber Kong. So the same thing applies with your Dopehead NFTs. All the Genesis Dopehead NFTs will provide 10 of our tokens to you every day for 10 years. So just from holding the thing, you're able to access those tokens. So as an NFT investor, you could be a flipper, or you can be a guy that goes after the blue chips, or you can be a sniper. And what happens is you'll see NFTs like, for instance, if I go onto the Bored Ape Yacht Club and there's the floor price of, let's say, 35 Ethereum, and the next one that's available for sale is 39 Ethereum. Well, then I'll simply buy the one for 35 Ethereum, wait for the one for 39 Ethereum to sell. The next one would be 40 Ethereum, and then I would resell my one that I bought for 35 for 41, making 6 Ethereum, blah,
Okay.
blah, blah. There's the game laid out for you right there. So, I mean, there's multiple ways you can invest and make money with NFTs. If you just Google or YouTube, how do I, invest in NFTs, or how do I flip NFTs? There's a lot of guys out there telling you how to do it, and it's quite simple. I mean, if I can do it as a dope head, you can do it too. And listen, before we created the Dopeheads, I was involved in 9 different other projects as an investor buying NFTs. So I have about 90 other NFTs that I'm actually holding on to currently.
Damn. Okay. Well, so we got that. I appreciate that knowledge as well. Thank you. So now you mentioned a few things that really stuck out in my mind when you say blue chip. Now, my mind, going back to like the Wolf of Wall Street, I naturally think of the stock market. Now, Does the stock market have any effect on the success or failure, decline, rise of Dopeheads NFT or NFTs in general? And is that something that someone who's new to the game should be aware of or weary of?
Yeah, so there's a trickle down effect. You got to think of it like this: Bitcoin is Godzilla, okay? When
Yeah.
Godzilla speaks and Godzilla moves, everybody moves as well. So when you see Bitcoin run up, all the other cryptocurrencies will run up behind it. When you see Bitcoin dip, all the other altcoins will dip as well. And so think of it as a trickle down effect. So if Bitcoin moves up and the other cryptocurrencies move up, NFTs being in that crypto realm will also move up as well. If Bitcoin decides to take a dip and the other cryptocurrencies take a dip, the NFT market is affected as well because these NFTs are sold on these cryptocurrencies as well. So you'll see that ebb and flow happen when Bitcoin decides to do what it wants to do. So just think of Bitcoin as Godzilla. If Bitcoin is up, the whole market rises. If Bitcoin goes down, the whole market goes down. And that's kind of the effect short term for NFTs, but long term for NFTs, find you a good project because not all of them are going to be here. About 90% of these NFT projects are going to fail. So find you a project that you like, find you some artwork that you like, and invest in stuff that you like that you think is functional. Listen, I know we can create 20 years of animation. I know that for a fact. I know that in my heart of hearts, we're not creatively bankrupt and we can provide this content. So for us, our plan is a 20-year plan where most other NFTs are, hey, we're going to build a game and in 12 to 24 months, we're going to release it. Well, what happens after a year of playing that game?
You
That
want a
game
new
goes
game.
away.
Yeah, you
Yeah, you
want
want a
something
new
new.
game. You want
Yeah.
something new. But with us, it's an animated series. I mean, The Simpsons have been the same age for 27 years now.
Facts.
You know,
Facts.
so the dopehead animation and metaverse realm, there's no limit. 20 years is nothing. Mike,
Yeah.
you want to speak?
Yeah, actually, I do. You know what's cool as fuck about this whole thing is for 25 years, I've been like hustling artwork. I've worked for labels, I've done all this stuff. I've always wanted to get my own artwork out, and I'm sure a lot of other artists can feel this. I can't go to rich people and ask them for money for doing some stupid character I have because they don't believe in that shit. If I go to a label or something, unless I've built it up, they don't believe in it unless they're gonna take 90% of it.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of fucked, right? So this is so fucking badass because I can go straight to the fucking fans. I can present a project. Me and Toe Down are presenting, and I have direct, full contact sport with Discord. I can get on and talk to them, and then they're buying the NFT and they're supporting the project the way you've always wanted your entire life. And it's really, to me, the dopest thing. So when Toe Down was like, do the NFT, I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's do all of it. We're gonna do the merch. We're gonna do the toys. We're gonna do the animated. I won't do a Dopeheads fucking theme park. I don't give a. We're going all the way with it. But the coolest thing is this: we have complete creative control. We do get feedback from the Discord and we work with it, but there's never been a funding source like this where you don't have to I don't have to sell my soul to get something done. Like we
Beautiful.
can do exactly what we want to do the way we want to do it, and it's amazing. So that's all I got to say about that. I appreciate everybody that is supporting it, and when we do this launch, like it's no all gas, no brakes, balls to the wall. I'm gonna push this as hard as I fucking can and as far as I can.
I love that because your artwork, I mean, artwork working for other people was already fire. So now, like, I feel like as every artist has, like, Toe, you referred to this in an interview where you were told don't give away all the bars because they just want the beat and the hook, save a little something for the people. And I believe in that. What your guys are both doing, you both got tricks in the bag that are both going to complement this brand and this whole movement more or less. So it's really wholesome to hear two artists in different realms come together and create something so beautiful for the betterment of the ones around them and not just yourselves. Because I think buying any product nowadays, I mean, I hate wearing name brand stuff now. I hate half the name brand things I see because I know where my money's going, and it's not to the right people in the right places. It's going to the wrong people in the wrong places. And I think this right
I'm so
here.
glad. I'm so glad you mentioned that because one of our strategies is our product isn't going to be in the name brand stores. Our product is going to be in your
Mm-mm.
local smoke shops and your local dispensaries, and that way you'll be able to support these independent people. Most dispensaries are independent. Most head shops are independent. So you'll be able to find our stuff in those stores, which will help provide income for those independents as well. So this is truly, an organic grassroots type situation where the community is a big community, but it's a tight knit community.
Yeah, which is fire because it's different when they say always never mix business with family, never mix business with friends and things like that. But I think it's because when you're conditioned to look at business in the conglomerate fashion, people stab each other in the back. Some dude will kick his own mother out the house if he can make 1 billion a year, and that's just the sad truth. So it's really cool to hear where both of you are at. And also, another question I'd like to ask is, at this point we know kind of like where you're at with the Dopehead NFTs and like what you got going on. I hear like you want to do casino, theme parks, shows, the whole
Whatever.
nine. And my thing is, let's say you do all that, what do you think would be next for you in that market? Would it be to kind of like continue blossoming in that sense, or what would be the next step if you already got all that success 20 years down the road, the community is blossoming? What do you think you would see for Dopeheads?
Man, I think I would just have the company, um, keep finding people, young people that were in the same position as me and Toe Down to invest in. So by the time that time comes, say it's a trust, like South Park just did almost $1 billion deal, right? So if we're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with that kind of money 20 years from now, we're just going to set it up to provide the same type of opportunities that the company was really originally kind of started with. I want to find creatives, people that have a checkered past, that's been abused by the system, and just keep that going. But
So
I don't.
I
Go ahead.
so I truly believe that Mike and I are the next Apple, Pixar slash Disney. I truly believe that Mike is the Steve Wozniak, and I'm more of the P.T. Barnum, out there character. And what's really brought us together is that we're able to work because we complement each other. And when we started this, we want to continue this. So we have enough ideas to get us to 20 years plus. And so for us, just like Mike said, reinvesting in that initial idea of creative people who need an opportunity, who don't actually have access to an opportunity, to keep that whole dream alive. Because I know how it is when you're sitting in your room and you're listening to your favorite artist and you're in dreamland and you're looking at all the fancy stuff that they got on and you're rapping in the mirror and you're in the video and I know how that is. That's how
Yeah.
that's how I started,
Yep.
rapping in the mirror. And so, we want to keep that dream alive for people where it is possible for you to have access to a major conglomerate where you can get put on and we can take you from zero to hero overnight. And so our community wants to support. Our community is super creative. There's tons of creative people in there, and we want to shine a spotlight on those individuals and bring them up and say, "Hey, look, this is a dope head, and that fucking dope," and really give them the opportunity, man. And just like Mike said, 20 years from now, if when we're at that stage, and Paramount offers us 900 million to continue another 20 years, we'll reevaluate at that time. But Mike and I, we don't even look at the financials. Like, seriously, Mike and I are so focused on grinding that we don't have time to count money. And
Yeah.
that's the way your business mind should be set, because if you have time to count money, then you're not making money.
Nah.
So for us, it's heads down, mash on the gas, and don't look back. And so for us, that's been working, and that's been a great little business model we got going. And at the end of the year, if there's $5 to split, great. If there's $500 million to split, great. It's not going to affect what Mike and I do.
I love it. I always tell people you don't focus on your numbers, being in a podcasting space and stuff, people always ask, well, how do I get viewers? How do I get this? And like you said, man, I think a lot of people now focus on the numbers to support the ego that they're feeding. And if you always try to feed the ego, it's like trying to feed yourself. It's like trying to drink the ocean with a fork. It's just you're never gonna have enough. You're never gonna get enough. So at the
Insecurity.
yeah, so at the end of the day, I really love what you guys are doing, and I appreciate all the time you took today to kind of share everything. And in saying that, I think we got a clearer look at what NFTs are as a whole, as well as got blessed with a lot of sprinkles of knowledge from Dopeheads, NFT, and from the sources. So that being said, is there anything else that you guys want to offer, whether it has to do with Dopeheads or whether it's just a piece of advice or a little warm piece of heartfelt motivation for someone out there that may be struggling to just take the leap of faith and take change and have a dance with it and see what happens?
I could say something that I told myself with this project. I told myself this when I first started designing album covers, because I was beating around the bush. Um, whatever it is you're gonna do, you got to make a decision. You're either gonna go 100% into something or not. Don't If you're not gonna go 100% in, go do something else. If you got to make a commitment and say I'm taking the risk, I'm going all in, or I'm not going at all. But don't do it half-ass. You'll be miserable and never get anywhere.
And
Thank you.
I'm just gonna come on top of that. And for all my dreamers out there, I want you to dream a big dream. And when you have that dream and you're visualizing that dream, take that dream and ball it up and throw it the fuck away and dream an even bigger dream, because that's where you need to be focused on. That's how you get to that level of success that nobody else is at. That's why you see somebody, instead of shooting 500 hoops in the gym, they're shooting 1,000 hoops, because Kobe shot 500. I'm gonna shoot 1,000, and that's the way your mindset needs to be. And so, what we want to do is we want to give you and your community 10 free pre-sale list spots that I'm gonna let you give away. So there's 10 of them that you can give away to your listeners. You decide if you want it to be a comment or whatever it is, but we're gonna give you 10 pre-sale whitelist spots for your listeners, and we'll see you on launch date and get your dope head NFT.
That's dope. Thank you so much for that, everybody out there. Y'all just heard it. You heard it. Y'all just heard it from the man himself. Once again, it has been a pleasure to have both of you on the Chop Shop and to just, kick back, relax, and learn something new from myself. Man, this is a rare moment for myself where I get to take in a lot of knowledge, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much for everything that you have done, not just for the Houston, but for the industry as a whole, and what you guys continue to do for now the little guys and the guys that have been looked over and passed on because of a checkered past, as you said, Mike. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time once again. I know time is the most valuable commodity on this earth, so thank you so much. I truly appreciate both of you, and I cannot wait to chop it up with you again, man.
Yeah, it sounds good, Matthew. Go ahead.
See you in the future, homeboy.
Always, baby. The future's looking bright, boys. So thank you so much. And as for everybody out there, like I said, you can check all their links, Dopeheads NFTs, down in the description. We got everything, man. I know you want to go check it out. My mans, they are doing beautiful work. The illustrations are crazy. As you heard, the imagination matches the craft. So imagine where it's going to be and, down the road, baby. So get on now. It's never too late. Like my man said, just make it happen. As you can see, beautiful pictures. We have everything going right here in the description. So go check them out. And we got that giveaway that's going to take place, man. So thank you so much once again, fellas. I appreciate it. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by and rocking out with me. This is Matty Pace coming at you live from the Matty Mo Show, the host, the most mojo, saying one life, one love. I'm out.
Look at me, my eyes are closed, I'm high right now. Please don't ask me shit, nigga, I'm high right now. Look at my little bitch, you see she high right now. Can't you really tell we high right now?
Now you know I'm gonna show up if the deposit came through. I'm in here with my gal and my coffee main crew, smoking ever since the van.